Some of these viral finance TikToks are actually giving good advice, but some are borderline dangerous. As a finance manager, I've seen the impact of bad decisions firsthand. So I wanted to react and break down a few of these so you actually know what's useful and what's complete nonsense. If you are new here, my name's Jayan. I'm a qualified chartered accountant and a finance manager at a FTSE top 5 company. And let's get straight into this. Okay, here we go. First one.
Couple, I'm in a relationship and me and my partner have managed to save, 50K. What is a better use of that 50K to drive a financial return?
Okay, so let's simplify the whole thing. I have a conscious spending plan. I have 4 numbers that couples should be talking about, okay? The first off is your fixed costs. Those should be roughly 50 to 60% of your take-home pay.
And what's a fixed cost?
Fixed cost includes your housing or that could be rent, mortgage, your utilities, your car payment, any debt payment, anything that is consistent, even groceries that you need to live every single month.
So 50% of my monthly income goes straight to those fixed costs.
Monthly take home.
Yeah, definitely agree with this. I think this aligns with the OPEX part of my own money management system that I talked about a few videos ago.
If I were to start over with my money in my 20s, these are the 3 index funds I would invest in. And this is coming from someone who's achieved financial freedom in their 20s. Number 1 is VOO. It's an ETF that tracks the S&P 500, which are the 500 largest companies in the US stock market. The main reason I want this in my portfolio is because of its stable and steady growth over time. Since 1926, the S&P 500 index has returned about 10% average every year, excluding inflation. Number 2 is QQQ. It's an ETF that
Solid advice. S&P 500 has returned that. It's likely to continue. I mean, in my opinion, it's the collection of the 500 biggest companies in the US. And the US is one of the world's largest economies. I don't see how that overall doesn't keep growing at a large scale. And it takes away the risk of any individual company. So definitely agree with that one.
Focuses on the NASDAQ 100, which is very tech focused. So it includes things like Nvidia, Tesla, and Apple. The main reason I include this is because it's a much more higher risk, higher reward play in addition to the S&P 500. So it's a
Definitely agree with this one too. I think tech is the future. If you can afford to take more risk and you're younger, definitely go with this one. Much higher returns that are expected from this.
Better fit if you are younger and you want to be more aggressive with your money. Number 3 is SCHD. It's an ETF that tracks really large, stable, dividend-paying companies like Verizon, Pfizer, and Coca-Cola. The main reason I have this in my portfolio is for a little bit more stability as well as passive income from the dividend payments. Which index fund do you want to learn more about?
I agree with this one too. At least you have some stability and some cash flow, because the other two don't return your dividends, especially if you have the S&P 500 and you have dividend reinvestment. This, at least you'll get some cash back and a lot more stable. These companies are usually less fluctuation, less growth, more on actually paying you money back.
Down your credit card on its due date. Instead, do this. Pay your credit card down 3 days before the statement date. Why? Because loads of people think that you have to pay your credit card down on the due date. Little do they know is that your statement date is when the credit bureaus take your information and then formulate your credit score. If you pay it down 3 days before, it will show on the credit report, which will then increase your credit score because it shows your credit utilization rate has dropped. If you want to learn other ways to build your credit score, make sure you follow me. Do not pay down.
This depends on how much of your credit that you're actually using, because let's just say you've got a limit of 10 grand. You need to be utilizing some of this, and let's say that you've utilized 1 to 2 grand of this. You're probably fine, but let's say you're reaching that cap and now you're a bit over leveraged here and you're reaching £10,000 maybe. That's when it's probably good advice to pay it down. So take this one with a pinch of salt, I think.
Valuable financial skill that anybody can have is not needing to impress other people. If you don't need to impress other people, that is an asset on your balance sheet that is worth $1 billion, because so much of society as a whole and individual is just geared towards how can I get other people's attention? How can I show off to other people? How can they like me more?
Solid advice, but less financial related. You probably need to do a little bit of work on yourself, and then this is a lag benefit of that.
Is buy it outright if you can, secondhand, and 3 to 5 year old. That is like the sweet spot where it's depreciated enough at someone else's expense and it won't depreciate as much when you have it. If you are someone who doesn't mind making the less financial savvy choice and wants a nice cool car every couple of years but is happy to pay with the extra cost that comes with it, then rent. That's the mindset or the approach to take those two with. When it comes to rent in the UK, there's different ways to rent. There's lease, PCP, getting a bank loan. The way to approach that is think about how long you're going to have that car for and what the price is for owning it for that specific period. Figure out what the total cost of ownership is, calculate those out. The way to always go with
Solid advice. When you take a car off the showroom floor, basically it feels like half of its price just falls off immediately. And in those first few years, this is with anything new really, the price goes from up here and depreciates so much, and you lose so much value. So if you buy a few years after, and this is not just cars but most things, you're going to get a much better deal, and that reduction in value is going to slow down after about 3 to 5 years. So I think that's good advice. And renting, definitely good, because up front the cost of that on a year-on-year basis isn't too much, but when you buy and face all of that depreciation, very bad. So I think this is very good advice.
These are the 5 financial things that I wish I did sooner in my 20s, because if I had, I would be much further along than I already am. I wish I opened a stocks and shares ISA way earlier, because tax-free compound interest is by far the best way to save money. I wish I'd focused on ensuring my credit score was as close to perfect as possible. While I hate the credit score system, it will help you massively. Having a perfect...
Already good top tips. Invest early. Spoke about this in an earlier video. It's the best way to grow your money. And with the trading 212 ISA at the moment, you get high interest even if you don't actually invest the money. So a great place to put your money, even if it's just sitting there.
Credit score gets you better credit card deals, better mortgage deals, better car finance deals. Even though personally I don't agree with car finance, but if that's your stream, it will get you a better deal. I wish I'd started a private pension sooner, because working until I'm 70 and then getting your measly state pension is not my portion at all, and it shouldn't be yours either. Also, the tax benefits are crazy, and the government will give you 25% on top of whatever you've saved.
Depends here. So the credit score, definitely worth building your credit score. I think it's important. You can do that without having to spend too much money or put too much effort into it, I don't think. And with a pension, it depends what your workplace is offering you, because if it's offering you something, say 5%, it matches 5%. If you're earlier in your life and you can afford to put that money away and you're not scrimping and saving, it's a good idea, because it will pay off further in the future for you. But if you've actually got enough in your pension already and you're living okay, maybe you want to enjoy now and take it a little bit easier now. It's quite personal on this one. Some people are of the idea that you should really not enjoy yourself now, but it's a scale. Say if you've got £100, if you're putting £10 away in your pension, it's probably a good idea. You probably don't want to put £50 out of 100 into your pension and sacrifice the present now.
Wish that I'd gotten a rewards credit card earlier so that I can actually benefit from the money that I spend regularly. Do you know how many more holidays I would have gone on if I knew that the rewards from a credit card could end up paying for my flights? Finally, I wish that I'd...
Depends how much you spend on this one, because if you want a really simple financial system that you actually stick with and you're budgeting, better to simplify as much as possible. But if there's things that you're always spending on, you care about the rewards, and you're going to spend the money anyway, definitely worth getting a reward card. That's something that I've done. I've had Amex and an Aqua card for years now, and they both help to massively build your credit score.
None of you listening really have a math problem as much as you have a behavior problem. Personal finance is 80% behavior. It's only 20% head knowledge.
It's true. I think it alludes to what I said in the last point. If you've got a system that you stick to, it's about what you actually do. So your behavior, your actions, and less about your knowledge. Because say if you took one person that is really simple, doesn't do any of the other stuff, and let's say they earn £3 a month and they put £1 away every single month, they'll have 12 grand at the end. Or separately, you have somebody that earns, let's say, 5 grand, and then they spend a little bit here and they go on a holiday there, and ultimately at the end of the year, they haven't really been that clear. They've been a lot more comfortable, but maybe they're spending 4 grand, 4.5 grand each month then. They're not sticking to a really good system, and maybe they know a lot more about personal finance, but the results aren't the same. It's all about behavior rather than the knowledge. There's a lot of finance content out there that works great in 10 seconds but falls apart in real life. If you want practical real world systems from someone who's done this at a professional level, I share them here. So subscribe for more and I'll break them down properly. And if you want to see my own system for how I manage my money like a business from what I've learned throughout my years as a finance manager, then click this video right here.